This is the 7th episode of our Capitol Reef adventure in our fully solar-powered travel trailer RV. Click on the card above to see the playlist of all prior episodes. In episode 6, we explored the colorful bentonite hills of clay. In this episode, we continue that day, where we drive into Capitol Reef National Park and hike to the Hickman Bridge, then head back to our campsite to play in the river and relax after an exhausting day of adventure. Then, the next day, we pack up after 7 days of fun and drive home, where I share how much water we had left over from 6 people boondocking for 7 days, as well as how well the electrical system performed for us while we were camping. I wanted to get this shot because we do this every day, coming through this like V-shaped gate. It's a cool spot. We are to the Hickman Bridge parking lot, and it's very crowded. We're here on a Saturday. But we did luck out, and we managed to get a parking spot here in the actual Hickman Bridge parking area. There are cars parked along the side of the road, like way up that way. So, lucky us. So we're just getting set up and ready to start hiking. And I believe it's going to be a hike that takes us all the way to the top of this cliff right next to us, because when we drive by on the road, I can see hikers that go that direction, and then there's switchbacks up the side of this cliff here. Looks like the Hickman Bridge is going to be 1 mile. Let's go check it out. All week we've been driving past this hike and we've never stopped yet, and it's clearly a very popular hike because the parking lot is often full and cars are often parked along the side of the highway, which you can see over there. So I'm kind of excited to see what this hike is all about. This part of the trail is really cool how it's changed pretty dramatically into all these big round boulders, which are a mixture of black, brown, and kind of white, light gray. Whereas the trail earlier was just red rock cliffs. There are so many steps. The trail clearly continues that way, but these are some fun archways, aren't they? Well, how about we go in on the way down? There's already people in there. I think right there is the archway. Yeah, that. Right past that tree that's sticking up. I think that's it. Looks like we are very nearly there. As you can see on this sign in front of us, there's a loop right now, so we're at a fork. We're going to go to the right and loop around underneath the bridge, and then back down here on the left side. Bottom left. Yep. James, are you tired?
Just sitting back there pulling my hair.
James, be nice to Mom. And here's the bridge, girls. That's bigger than I anticipated. Girls, you've seen a lot of arches in your short little lives. What do you think of the Hickman Bridge?
All the other arches.
It's not your favorite? There's a lot of graffiti on that rock. Now, girls, we can add another checkbox to your list of arches you've seen in your lives. Lydia here said, "Can I have your phone? I want to take a picture of the arch myself." And this is the picture she's getting. Great job, Lydia. It's a cool arch.
This is the attic.
The girls found another cave to hang out in. We are on our way back down to the parking lot from the archway, and the vista is opening up right here on the trail down. What a cool view. Having fun, Clara? Great. This is a particularly cool cavity. Go, Lucy, good climbing. Look at the coloration in here. Very pink, red, and white. Looks like maybe people have splashed water. Or blood.
This kind of looks like crispy cheese, kind of.
Oh, yeah? Clara, smile. 3, 2, 1. This is cool. There's multiple archways right here and then a cool alcove in the back. What do you think of this?
Feels good.
Yeah? Just barely tall enough to not have to bend over. I mean, for James, you might. What do you think, James?
Hey, kids.
Shoot out your rocks.
Laura. Laura, Diana.
James.
Oh, are you okay, Clara? Yep.
Look at the rainbow. Don't say she's got one.
And we're back to the trailer. So inside the trailer it's 70 degrees exactly, and outside it's 67. And the battery of the trailer is at 100%. And we're currently using 428 watts of AC power, and it is 4 p.m. After a full day of adventure exploring the Bentonite Hills and hiking to the Hickman Bridge, we spent the rest of the day relaxing around our campsite, mostly at the river while the kids played in the water, rocks, and sand. We really lucked out on this campsite because there are not many like it around here, with its close access to fun water to play in and 0 neighbors within sight. Just about the only drawback is the noise from the nearby highway, which was a minor drawback all things considered. It's now 7:35 in the morning, and waking up, the battery is down to 64%. The mini split was set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit all night, and right now we're getting 200 watts of solar. You'll see that outside it's 53 degrees and inside it's 70.7. The girls are filling in their giant hole. Good job, girls. And this is their Ant Metropolis, was it?
No, it's Grand Canyon.
Ant Grand Canyon. So today's the day we're heading home. We arrived on Sunday a week ago, and today it's Sunday now. So we've been here for exactly a week. I just wanted to do a quick update on the water. If you look here at the freshwater tank, it's indicating 1/3 full. Now this is woefully inaccurate, and I mean, the granularity is bad. 2/3, 1/3, and empty, or versus full. So not very helpful in my opinion, but it is a very general indicator. It has shown 1/3 for a couple of days. We're probably fairly close to empty, but the water is still coming out of the faucet, etc. The gray tank is showing 2/3 full. Last night it was showing 1/3 full, but it moves around. The black tank has gone from 2/3 to 1/3 back to 2/3. Really inaccurate, but in any case, these tanks are getting full and this one is getting empty. But for a week, for a family of 6, that's, I think, pretty impressive. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the water pump and the water heater just because we're about to go empty everything. As a quick update on the electricity, it is 9:26 a.m. at the moment, and we're at 61% on the battery, and we're getting 680 or so watts of solar. It's a little bit overcast today. And so I wanted to talk about the water just a little bit more. So because we were expecting to stay here for a long time in one location, we didn't want to have to move locations to empty tanks or refill tanks. So we actually brought 2 of these. These are 5-gallon, just generic water tanks. And we've actually been drinking primarily from these. And we've gone through 2.5 of them. This one is just slightly less than a half. We brought 2 of them full, and then we have refilled this one at the Fruita campground once. So that's how much extra water potentially was put into the black tank, but not entirely. So we've also limited showers. There's only been a couple of showers throughout the week, and we just used, like, diaper wipes for other things. So we've been able to get by with just this amount of water. The 45-gallon fresh tank that's in the trailer below, and an additional about 12.5 gallons of water. So what we're going to do right now is head back to the Fruita campground, and we're going to dump our black and gray water tanks, and then we'll head home. I'm going to stow the Starlink dish now. This is where we keep the router in the battery compartment, and then the cord is coming along the ground here. And I've had it over here on the bank of this river most of the week. and it has worked really well for us. You can see it is right there. So I'm going to stow that and then we'll get on the road. After a week of camping, we did a broad sweep of the area, making sure we didn't leave anything behind, since the kids were playing with sand toys and we had camping chairs, the Starlink dish, and whatnot to pack up. After getting everything packed up, we drove 12.2 miles, or about 20 minutes, to get to the Fruta Capitol Reef Campground dump station, enjoying for the last time on this trip the beautiful red rock cliffs towering on either side. There were a couple of people in front of us at the dump station when we arrived, and they were extremely slow at dumping their tanks. After waiting in line for a really long time, we're finally dumping our tanks, and then we'll continue on to Torrey and fill up our truck with gas. The drive to Torrey is 11.1 miles, or about 17 minutes of driving, at least to the easternmost gas station in town. I brought a 6-gallon gas can on this trip as backup just in case, and I went ahead and added it to the truck gas tank first, since it's filled with older gas that needs to get used anyway. Plus, I can fill it for cheaper than these expensive gas stations in remote places in Utah. Here's a quick update on the solar while we're gassing up the truck. You can see it's a pretty overcast day, and so we're only getting 351 watts of solar at the moment, but the battery is up to 73%, and it doesn't really matter. We're just driving home, and then when we get there, we'll plug it into the Tesla and discharge it. All right, it just finished filling up. I already added 6 gallons to it from a gas can that we brought. It's cheaper gas, so I might as well use it. You can see this is 47.56, and we just put in 11.326 gallons. The drive home was 186 miles, which took us close to 3 hours to drive, or perhaps a little more since we're a little bit slower than the Google Maps time projections while we're towing our trailer. For this entire trip, we put 645 miles on the truck, 416 miles of which was towing our trailer round trip, and 229 miles was driving around in the truck exploring Capitol Reef for the week that we were there. The truck consumed 70.1 gallons of gas to drive that distance, which cost us $281, which averages out to 9.2 miles per gallon. Considering all the awesome memories we made on this trip, I think the cost was worthwhile. Plus, we got to see the beautiful scenery driving there and back. Sometimes it's hard to get trips like this to happen because there's always something we have going on in life that we either have to put on hold or miss while we're on the trip. In my opinion, family is always far more important than the things we miss, and the memories we make are very worth the efforts to make the trip happen. And just like that, many hours later, we're home. So everything on the journey home worked just fine. What did you think of this trip, girls?
I liked it.
Yeah? What was your favorite part about this trip?
Digging.
Digging and going on hikes. Oh, Clara's asleep. So I can't ask Clara. And then James just woke up. Hey, James.
He was awake.
The solar panels worked great on the trailer, powered everything this week. We didn't use a generator. We didn't use propane. We didn't even bring either of them. One thing I wanted to share that worked really well for me on this trip is for a while I've been trying to figure out where to mount my phone in here that would be in good visibility and good proximity to charging it with my inverter down here, etc. And when Ando Bill reached out to me and offered to send this cell phone holder, I thought, well, I'll try this out. And this is actually a clamp that's meant for bicycle handlebars. You can see right there, I actually have it clamped onto the end of the shift lever of this truck. And the tow button is here on the end of it. It's still accessible. But when I clamp on here on the end of this lever, it nicely puts the phone in a position that's right here next to my steering wheel. And right now the truck is in drive. And so you can see it's at this level here. If I shift the truck into park, I pull this forward and it goes up to that high. So it kind of moves around and it's a little bit weird that way, but it actually works really well. This whole trip, this is what I've been using to mount the phone and to navigate. And you can just pop it right here and then just, it's spring loaded, so it pops up over like that. And then you clamp in on the sides. That is overkill for in a vehicle like this, because this is meant to be able to be jostled really heavily by the handlebars of a motorcycle or a bicycle. But you can see it fits well, and I can have the screen on while I'm driving, and I can have it plugged in down here with the power cord so that I don't need to worry about it running out of energy, and it's really easy for navigation and changing settings and stuff like that right here next to my steering wheel. I miss the big Tesla screen, and this is my alternative for this Ford F-250 truck. I'll put a link in the description down below to this product. It's working really well for me. And I'm also going to test it out on my e-bike to see how well it fits there. I'll just give you one last update on the electrical system in the RV before we call it done for this trip. The RV battery filled up at some point during our drive home, and as you can see is currently 100%. And then also you'll notice that the solar production is 2200 watts right now. And the reason why it can do that is because I've just plugged it into the Tesla, and now it's charging the Tesla at the rate of 2300 watts. And that's 10 amps at 240 volts on the Tesla. And you can see it's withdrawing about 700 watts of energy, or maybe now it's 540 watts of energy from the RV battery. I'm going to let it continue discharging at this rate until the RV battery is down closer to probably 50 or 40%, and then I'll probably take the remainder of the daylight hours today. I am emptying the remaining fresh water from the trailer into this 5-gallon bucket so that I can measure how much water we actually used. So here is the third 5-gallon container full of water that's remaining in the trailer from our week of boondocking. So that's about 15 gallons that we actually didn't use out of the 45, which means we used 30 out of the 45 gallons over a week for 6 people, which, 4 of them are kids. And then we had 12.5 gallons of drinking water that we also drank, plus a little bit that we filled water bottles at the campground, but that's really pretty negligible. It's pretty good. This is the Victron Monitoring Portal for that day of the trip, which is when we went to the Bentonite Hills and hiked the Hickman Bridge hike. This is the electrical system from the travel trailer. So this is showing the state of charge of the battery. That's this blue line here. And the area within that blue line is the variance of the state of charge during that hour. So this starting at midnight and then going throughout the night, you can see the state of charge is slowly declining. And then this red bar here, all of the red bars are the consumption from the AC, from the inverter in the trailer. And then these orange bars are the solar production. So you can see that's ramping up here. This bar here is from when we warm up the trailer in the morning. We turn up the temperature on the mini split, but we did leave it on all night. It doesn't need to do much most of the night. And then the battery got as low as 40% and then started climbing from there. And the solar, of course, was doing well. And then once the battery gets full, which on this particular day happened, it usually happens around 1 or 2 p.m., and that's about 2 to 3 is where it happened here. You can see the solar production drops off because it has nowhere to go, so the solar panels stop producing, and they just maintain the state of charge, which is 100%. So that's where the red and the orange bars match fairly well throughout the remainder of the day. And then here is when the state of charge of the battery is now less than 100. It starts to go down from there, and that kind of matches with the next day. If we look at the summary of the day, though, you can see our consumption was 7.1 kilowatt hours and our production was 10.1 kilowatt hours. Now, if we look at the next day, this is the day we then drove home. So we start out the day at 85%, and then it slowly declines throughout the night, and it gets as low as 61%. And then the solar starts to climb back up again. And then as we're driving home, it gets to 100%. It looks like that happened around 1 p.m. this day. And it was only at 100% for about an hour or two, because as soon as we got home, you can see these huge surges in energy consumption. That's because I plugged in our Tesla Model S and then started pulling down on that battery. And then the solar production jumps up as well, because now it's able to go somewhere. And so it's flowing into the car, as well as the energy that's stored in the battery pack of the trailer. And then it dropped off. You can see I stopped charging the Tesla when the trailer battery got to around 63%. There was still a little bit of solar left in the day, so it came back up, and basically you can just see it stay steady. And you can see the red bars drop off because I turned off the inverter entirely. So there is no energy consumption at all, and so the battery stays pretty steady. It looks like 69, and then end of the day at 68%, just a tiny drop off there. So for that day, our consumption was 8.9 kilowatt hours, and our production was 9.7 kilowatt hours. Now 9.7, that could have been higher if the battery had not gotten full, and the same applies to any day that the battery gets totally full. It's a little bit suspect how much you could have gotten that day, just depends on how long the battery was at 100%. This is now the Victron Monitoring Portal showing the entire time frame that we were there camping out. So this just gives you kind of a high overview of, you can see the battery got to 100% pretty much every day of the trip. But this first day, we started out the trip at 0% on the trailer battery because I discharged it all into the Tesla just before we left home. And then the state of charge varied between 100% and 54% that day, 59, 50, 48, let's see, 58, and we got as low as 40% that close to the end day. So overall, we definitely just dwelt in the upper half of the state of charge of the battery. Our consumption overall was 64.6 kilowatt hours, and our solar production was 89.2 kilowatt hours for that week. I hope this has been helpful, seeing how well our electrical system and the RV retrofit is working for us camping out in the real world. We didn't take a propane canister with us on this trip. We did not take a generator with us either. So we really only had this the solar panel system to power our adventures, minus of course the gasoline to power the truck. I hope this has been informative, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.